Take a shot every time I say fantastic in this video. You're gonna need a lot of alcohol. Fantastic Four First Steps is the fourth officially released Fantastic Four movie, and the fourth movie adaptation of the Fantastic Four. And it's the best one since the unreleased movie, goddamn. Fantastic Four First Steps was announced all the way back during Marvel's infamous 2019 San Diego Comic-Con panel, where they announced like 20 projects that were all coming out in the span of a few years. Back then, I was still in my rose-tinted glasses era of being an MCU fan, and I thought Feige and his crew could do no wrong. Thor: The Dark World wasn't a bad movie, I just didn't get it. I heard of the Fantastic Four here and there, but they were very unfamiliar to me. This was before I read comics like an actual comic book fan, so all I could do was wait for the new movie. And that took a while. Originally, John Watts was set to direct the movie, but he stepped down after the complicated production of Spider-Man: No Way Home. Can't say I blame him. To replace him, Matt Shakman, who had previously worked on WandaVision, stepped in. And after a handful of rewrites, First Step's first teaser was shown to the public on July 25th, 2024, a year before the movie's release date. And by the public, I mean only the people at San Diego Comic-Con. The general audience wouldn't get a trailer until February. By this point, projects like Thor: Love and Thunder, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and Moon Knight had convinced me that the MCU had fallen off, as the kids would say. I no longer felt the need to obsessively watch every single project, or every trailer, or investigate every leak or rumor. So when we first started getting information on First Steps, I wasn't that excited. I liked what I saw though. The thing's design and the retro-futuristic world especially caught my eye, and I'll talk more about that later. Eventually, First Steps released on July 25th, 2025, and I got to see it in IMAX while on vacation in California. That's why it's been a while since I made a video, by the way. And I f***ing loved it. First Steps follows the Fantastic Four as they desperately try to save their world from Galactus, a multiversal being who threatens to take away everything they hold dear. This movie is brilliant and I love nearly every aspect of it. The performances, the music, the cinematography, the characters, the world of Earth 828, all of it is, well, fantastic. Dare I say, this is my favorite comic book movie of the year. Yes, even counting Superman. But even though I think this is a great movie, there are clear signs that it was cut down significantly. Multiple scenes from the trailers are nowhere to be found in the movie, and apparently there was an entire opening sequence that was cut, and there's a lot of footage from it that is still present in the final cut of the movie. Where the fuck is John Malkovich? Where'd he go? While I loved the opening montage, I think this would have been an equally great way to introduce us to the Fantastic Four. It reminds me of the opening of Incredibles 2. For reasons beyond the obvious, but still. Matt Shakman has said there's no plans for an extended cut / director's cut, with his reasoning being that there would be too much VFX work involved. Personally, I don't mind unfinished VFX in an alternate cut of a movie. Marvel themselves have released an alternate cut of Endgame with unfinished VFX in the past, so this would be nothing new for them. I don't know, I love extended cuts of movies, so I would love it if this movie got one and we got to see Shakman's uncompromised vision. To get started on talking about the movie itself, I think the best thing this movie did was give us the best version of the Fantastic Four we've seen in live action. The characters feel like they were ripped straight from the comics, and the actors all give top-tier performances. Pedro Pascal as Reed was especially great. I was a little skeptical when the casting was announced, mostly because he doesn't really look like Reed Richards, but I didn't even think about it while I was watching the movie. He just is Reed Richards through and through. I loved his science talk show as well. It reminded me of the Tomorrowland segments on Walt Disney's Disneyland show.
Thank you, Garco.
Hey, would you look at that? I can say pretty much the exact same for Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. I was surprised with how great he was in this movie. He scratches Herbie's head like you would a dog, and I love it so much. Oh shit! I forgot to write about Herbie in my script. Herbie's great. I loved Herbie. I love little robots. He died. Holy shit! They actually showed how smart Johnny can be in this movie, and didn't just focus on the Daredevil / ladies man that previous adaptations did. He's still a bit of a hothead, but not to the point where he's an asshole. I loved the playful arguments between him and Ben throughout the movie, especially when it all resulted in Ben saying my favorite catchphrase in all of comics. Which is funny considering Johnny didn't say flame on at all, so. This movie sucks actually. My only complaint? His hair is too short. Give him his haircut from the 60s. Cowards. Vanessa Kirby kills it as Sue Storm. She isn't just the love interest or the mom in this one. They don't let those traits define her character in the same way Reed isn't the dad. She's also the MVP of the team, doing crazy shit like making a spaceship invisible while in labor and even pushing Galactus across city blocks and into a portal. No nosebleeds this time around. I really liked her speech where she gets the people in New York back on the Fantastic Four's side. I've seen people criticize this scene by saying that people change their minds too fast, and I guess I can see where they're coming from. Personally, I just find it refreshing to see a world where the citizens in a Marvel movie don't hate the heroes and are willing to hear them out. I can't think of the last time a Marvel movie did that. Okay, ignoring Thunderbolts that came out like 2 weeks ago. Ben Grimm has never looked better in live action, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach provides a great voice for the character. While the tragicness of the character is essential, and I'm a little bummed we didn't get to see a lot of that in the movie, it also makes me happy to see Ben accepting of his new self. The scene where the kids cheer him on while he picks up a car for them made me smile. Also, in this scene, Ben states that he grew up on Yancey Street, a reference to Delancey Street, which is the street where Jack Kirby grew up. Additionally, Ben visits a synagogue before fighting Galactus, and that made me super happy. The MCU has really failed to present Jewish culture in the past, and while this isn't on the same level as how, say, Daredevil's religion is treated in a series, it's still given a lot of focus and isn't just an Easter egg. Moon Knight. Anyway, Ben Grimm has had a lot of Jack Kirby's DNA since the beginning, so the more I think about it, seeing such a perfect representation of that is probably my favorite thing about the movie, even if his body dysmorphia takes a backseat for this one. That was a weird thing to write and then say out loud. As for the villains, I really enjoyed Ralph Ineson as Galactus. He's like an actual giant man this time, and that's awesome. I loved how menacing he is, and the film does a great job at showing you just how massive he is. Watching this movie in IMAX is pretty much essential if you can, because Galactus will take up the entire screen and it is insane. My seat shook whenever he moved. Although I downed a coffee beforehand, so that might have been my fault. Anyway, I don't have as much to say about Julia Gardner as Charlotte Ball, but like, she was cool. I don't know. The scene where she chases the Fantastic Four in space was brilliant. Oh, that was a great transition. Good job, me. The visual effects in this movie range from the best we've seen in the MCU to the visuals we've come to expect from the MCU. Scenes like the previously mentioned space chase, the meeting with Galactus, and anything set in the Baxter Building are all beautiful. The CGI on characters like Ben and Galactus are fantastic as well. The fact that there were a lot of practical effects involved too, with Innocent even wearing a whole Galactus suit, makes it even better. It's mainly the third act where the visuals take a step down. While Galactus looks good, there's a lot of obvious green screen shots, and the landscape is very gray and uninteresting. Oh, but New York is supposed to be gray. Oh wait. The color grading as a whole doesn't bother me, but I would've liked more warm colors. It would have helped sell the whole retro-futuristic and idealistic take on the 60s thing the movie was going for. Speaking of, I love the world of Earth 828. The name being a reference to Jack Kirby's birthday is a great little reference as well. This is just a personal preference, but I love contemporary visions of the future, especially from the 50s and 60s. Tomorrowland was always my favorite area in Disneyland for this very reason. Oh hey look, the Fantastic Four are even at Tomorrowland right now. They first started appearing on July 25th. 3 days after I was at the park. Joke's on them, I got to meet Iron Man, so. Things like space travel weren't set in stone yet, so artists let their imaginations run wild with the possibilities. Giant colorful rockets, flying cars, cities on the moon, giant abstract white skyscrapers, silly little robots that absolutely would not function in real life, but who cares, it's all great and I love it. So when it was revealed that First Steps would be using this aesthetic, I was immediately intrigued. And I think the movie nailed it. I love what they did here. I just wish we could have seen more. Earth 828 is such a nice setting, and with how comic accurate the Fantastic Four are, except for one character we'll talk about later, it makes me wish we could just start over here. No more Earth 1999-99 bullshit. I'm not going to Earth 616. It's dumb and stupid, it ruins everything, and it makes me angry. Another fantastic part of this movie is the soundtrack by Michael Giacchino, the man behind some of the best film soundtracks of all time. And while the soundtrack as a whole doesn't even crack his top 5, the Fantastic Four's theme is amazing. Definitely one of my favorite superhero themes, up there with Danny Elfman's Spider-Man and Batman themes, and even Giacchino's previous Batman theme, and even The Incredibles. It's impossible for me to not say, Fantastic Four, out loud while listening to the score. I thought it was a little cheesy when I first heard it, but it's totally grown on me since. Like with my Sonic Trilogy video, here's a lightning round of some complaints I have with the movie. I wish Reed used his powers more often and more creatively. He only really uses them to elongate his limbs, and even then he doesn't use his powers as much as Johnny or Sue. I want to see Reed stretch his eye out to get a closer look at something, or wrap his body around an enemy like in the 2005 movie. It's also like the 94 film where his clothes stretch along with his powers, and that kinda bugs me. They must be scared of CGI skin textures or something. Whatever, I just hope the Russos let Reed get wacky with his powers in their movies. Please. I joked about Johnny not saying flame on earlier, but like, why didn't he say it? No, the toy does not count. This movie is fully embracing the comics, so it doesn't even make sense that they wouldn't want to say it out of embarrassment or something. Even Fane Forstick had it.
Flame on.
Maybe he said it in the opening and it got cut. Hashtag release the Shackman cut. Hashtag the Shack had a strong foundation but is lacking in detail or something. Hashtag
it's dinner time.
Why didn't Johnny move Franklin back like 2 blocks? Galactus would have just had to walk a little bit towards him and then Reed could have teleported him away. Are they stupid? Is Fantastic Four First Steps really fantastic? Hell yeah, I'd say it's fantastic. Not only does it perfectly adapt the Fantastic Four and their villains, but it tells a great story about parenthood and family and sticking up for them no matter what. Combine all that with the amazing world of Earth 828 and Giacchino's masterful theme, and you've got yourself one of Marvel's most fantastic movies, even if they cut off a bit more than they should have. Oh look, a post-credit scene, I wonder what happens in it. Oh shit, I gotta talk about him.
We give you the one person who could play Victor Von Doom.
New mask, same task. What can I tell you? I like playing complicated characters.
This is the first time I'm talking about my favorite villain in all of Marvel Comics. And it's the Robert Downey Jr. version. Dr. Doom is f***ing awesome. He is a spiteful, hate-filled man with a brilliant mind to back up his giant ego. He is the most powerful, the most mysterious monarch in all the world, guided by a fighting force that never sleeps, that never relaxes its vigilance, for none is as feared. None has as many foes as Doom, the awesome, armor-clad lord of... you get it by now. I love Dr. Doom, so you can understand my frustration with how badly he's been represented in film. From a great performance hindered by higher-ups never releasing the film, to a Norman Osborn ripoff, to a Discord mod with confusing motivations. Doom has had it rough when it comes to the silver screen, and it's not getting any better. It sucks that, like, Earth 828 gave us the most accurate Fantastic Four we've seen in decades, and then this is their version of Dr. Doom. I just know if Shackman was in charge, he would give us the best Dr. Doom adaptation since Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Probably even better, since that version didn't really explore Doom as a character that much. He was all hype moments and aura. But f*** it, I'll take it, he was awesome.
So now what? You gonna fight them with me?
That would be beneath me. Such chores are what people like you are for.
He's so cool.
But unfortunately, they're prioritizing a desperate attempt to get general audiences back into theater, rather than accurately portraying Marvel's greatest villain. I haven't even mentioned how disappointing it is that they aren't accurately portraying Doom's Romani heritage, especially after I just praised how well they represented Jewish culture in this movie. I still whisper screamed in the movie when I saw him though. There's a part of my brain that claps like a trained seal whenever I see a character I like, so yeah, that got me hyped. And you bet your ass I'm going to be watching DOOMsday when it comes out. That is a train wreck in progress, and I'm going to be along for the ride the whole way through. I have no idea how to end the video after that Doom rant, so you still taking a shot every time I say fantastic? Good. Fantastic, 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 fantastic.
I was excited to work with you know,
everybody.
Robert Downey Jr. No, man, I mean, I've loved him for so long, man. He's one of my favorite actors. What a brilliant actor. I mean, you know, so that's, you know, come at me.
Too bad you don't have any scenes with him.